Well, what's up, work advisors? This is work advice for me. You are either listening on iTunes or Spotify, or you're watching me on YouTube right now. Thank you for doing all of the above. I've been a little under the weather lately. I probably sound a little under the weather. Had a little bug run through me, but I think I'm a little better now. But I'm really excited because today we have one of the most talented actresses we've ever had on the show. Jodie Bentley, she is incredible. If you do not know Jodie Bentley, shame on you. You need to look her up on the Internet Movie Database, which is factual about everything. I mean, it is the Bible for movies and actors. I gotta say, I would like to have a spot on the IMDb. I don't know what I've ever done. Maybe I just create a fake one. Can you do that? I don't know. Jodie, can you create a fake one for me? Today, Jodie Bentley, we're going to talk about so many things. She's a talented actress. She also does voice work, and she's an Audible reader, and you know how much I love that. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about smoking. Yeah, if any of you have smokers out there, you're all crazy enough to start smoking at this point, hey, more power to you. Hey, if you like our show, please go on iTunes, Spotify, leave us a nice review. Tell us how much you like it, and so we can continue to grow and reach more people. Also, let your friends know you like it so they can follow us on the Instagram. Work advice for me. We have a lot of cool shows on the network. This podcast is brought to you by Hopecast. We have a lot of shows on the network that we want you to follow. Yeah, because we want to share stories you actually want to listen to. So that's what we're all about here at the Hopecast Network, and what we're all about here at Work Advice for Me. And this today is going to be incredible because you're going to like it. But before we get to Jodie, it's question time. And I have a question from Lee in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Lee, I just went through Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's funny you bring that up. I can't even believe that the odds that you would message me and ask a question from there. We had been driving through Iowa, my son and I, and we had seen no buildings because it's so hard to find buildings in life there. And Lee, I promise you, I'm not exaggerating. My son saw Cedar Rapids and said, "Hey, Dad, this is big as Charlotte." Now, I'm in North Carolina, and I'm like, yeah, son, it is. It's not really as big as Charlotte. The buildings are not big. It's more like on the Toledo level. Maybe the Toledo level, maybe a little less. I don't know, but we stayed in Cedar Rapids for an evening, and it was kind of fun. We had a blast. But your question, Lee, before I forget, your question is, Brett really liked Glorified, as we all did. You talked about Costco, Sam's Club, and BJ's. Which do you prefer to shop at? Okay, I have a membership to Sam's, so if any of you Work Advice fans ever want to run into me, you might do it at a Sam's Club. But my father-in-law has a membership to Costco. So when he comes down from his land up north in Ohio, we go to the Costco. And I got to say, I kind of like the Costco better. Sam's is not bad. BJ's, never entered BJ's. Don't know what it's about. Don't really care. But Sam's is where I'm a member because it's down the street from me. So, yeah, sorry. I hope that answered your question, Lee. I hope that you're a... Which one do you go to, Lee? Do you go to Costco or Sam's? Let us know. Let us know in the chat. If you're watching this right now, comment, let us know in the YouTube chat. Now, without further ado, let's get to my friend, Jodie Bentley. Okay, Jodie. Jodie, I am so excited you decided to join me in the Work Advice basement, and we can hang out for a little while. I've been looking forward to this chat because, wow, you do a lot of things. Like, you don't just put your hand in one cookie jar. You have your hand in a lot of cookie jars. So I don't know where this conversation is going to go, but I'm sure we're going to have some fun. I really don't, but there's so much you do. I've got a lot of questions in my mind, but they may not ever get asked because I may just hang up going, I didn't even ask that question. But we'll figure that out. Jodie, thank you for coming to Work Advice. I'm so glad you chose to be a part of the team.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. And yeah, I'm curious to see where our conversation goes. Let's do it. Bring it on.
I'm going to bring it. So off air, we were talking about reality shows.
Yeah.
And I was telling Jody that I've been watching Love is Blind. My Netflix, okay, Jody, I love Netflix, but
Yeah.
I don't like their release schedule. It's a pet
Okay.
peeve. I was thinking about this earlier. Why don't they just drop every episode of Love is Blind? Why do they tease us? Why are they like, you know what, we're going to give you 3 today, 3 next week? Because my wife gets angry. She's like, I want to see the rest of them. And I'm like, well, I can't make them drop it, right?
I
And
know.
she's like, I'm into this. I'm invested. Jody, why is Netflix wonky like that? I don't understand
I
it.
don't know. I'll call them up when we're done, and I
Yeah.
will ask. But I think because for a long time it was like binge, right? Everything was dropped all at once and it was binging.
Mhm.
But like I remember when I was a kid, you had to wait. You had to wait every Thursday at whatever day for your show to like land. And I think we've gotten really impatient, you know, as a society, like, and they want you to keep coming back. That if you keep tuning in every week or whatever, it's just going to boost their ratings. You know what I mean? So as opposed to you watching it all day Friday and then not tuning in again for
Jody, I'm gonna assume you're younger than me. You got to be in your late 20s. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I receive that. It's good lighting, Brad. It's good lighting. That's what it is.
My lighting's terrible, but I remember a time, and
Yeah.
you may not remember this time, where you would set the VCR to record a 30-minute episode of Family Ties because you wanted to watch it. Now, if you missed it, you
Yeah.
had to wait for summertime
Yeah.
to hope you could then. Jody, my family was a TV Guide family, so I would get the TV Guide. I would go through it. I'd be looking. Okay, what's this week's Alf gonna be about? Because I am curious. I want to know, Jody. And
Oh,
my son today will not know that you have to wait. It's a ready bake society. They
yes.
want it now, and my son can pull up YouTube. Boom. He wants to watch a Jodie Bentley reel. Click on it. It's there. Back 20 years ago, I couldn't just pull up Jodie Bentley reels. You'd
No,
have to mail me a tape
I
to then
would.
put it in the VCR.
Totally. No, I remember those times. I remember those times. And I can even one up it that like I was the person in my family. I had to go and actually turn the dial on the television to turn it on. We didn't have remote in our house. We didn't have enough money to have a remote TV. That was fancy.
Jody, I feel like we're going to top each other right here because I'm going to one up you. Let's just keep one upping as we talk, and then you can.
I love it.
Eventually, you will be in caveman times, and I will be like, I can't top that anymore. You're watching a stone. I can't do it. I would stay at my grandma's a lot, and I would watch the old black and white. It was
Oh,
like
okay.
now I'm not that old, listeners, but it was about like a 13-incher black and white. And I remember getting a 20-inch TV for Christmas in my bedroom. Now, that makes me sound rich, but I wasn't.
Wow.
I loved it. I had the
Yeah.
remote. I would just sit in there just watching the HBO because that's what I was. My dad had the HBO. I got
Right.
the HBO book, right? And
Oh
I would skim it for any R-rated movies that I could watch in my bedroom, Jody. That's what I was doing.
Sure.
That was it. The kids today, they're not gonna know that stuff. They can just pop it up, and then they got those stupid ratings now. I don't understand the TV ratings. You're
Yeah.
an actress. What's with the ratings?
I don't know. I don't do that stuff. I don't know.
Why do we need ratings? It's all bad at this point.
I
I pretty
know.
much can go, you know what? It's gonna have cursing in it. You just make your peace with that.
I
Well,
know.
you
And I
know.
think it's just to protect themselves, and say, you didn't let me know this had nudity and my kid watched it.
NYPD Blue. Remember when they showed the first butt on TV?
Don't.
You don't remember? Yeah. Well,
No.
you're only in your 20s, so you wouldn't remember
Right.
that. But yeah, that was a big deal. Like nudity on TV for the first time. It was man nudity, which I think gets more of a pass than women nudity.
Sure. Right.
But at the time, that was like, oh my gosh, we got nudity on TV, NYPD Blue. I'm like, yeah, I'm not. That's not on my HBO schedule. Not watching it. Not like Jody.
You were watching way worse on HBO.
Oh my gosh, no. I was like, hey man, Shrimp on the Barbie's coming on, and it's got Emma Sims and Cheech Marin. We're gonna watch that. No. Jody, so tell me enough about the VHS, because it is fun to talk VHS. I really do like it. What what was Jody like as a kid? Because I'm just fascinated to know, because you do a lot now. Were you like this at a young age, besides having to turn the channel on TV?
Um, yeah, yeah, I was definitely the bossy one.
Oh, I have a
Um,
question about that.
okay,
Well,
but I
not
will
yet though.
okay. But I will say it was a product of my environment, right? Like I have a sister and she's 2 years older than me, but she has cognitive disabilities. So even to this
Okay.
day, she functions on the level of a 2-year-old.
Oh.
So yeah, so she talks in baby sounds, and so growing up, even though I was the younger one, I
Hmm.
had to be the older sister, and probably around the time I was 9, 10, I became the built-in babysitter as well, so like I grew up taking care of her, and be and almost being like a second mom or caretaker to my sister.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I think that just made me grow up real fast and go, oh, I need to handle shit. I need to do things. I need to have my stuff in order. I have to be
Yeah.
perfect to make sure my parents' lives are okay and my sister's okay. So I think I just grew up like handling everything. Like I know how to handle a lot of stuff all at once. Just a skill I learned. So yeah, so that was me growing up.
Well, now I feel like a turd. You're basically a mom at 14, and I'm like reading the HBO book in my bedroom. So you're like, you had no problems, and I'm an adult.
No,
It's
no, please. No, 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 no.
uh,
Everybody has their issues, that's for sure. But
so,
that was mine.
but that brings up a broader question of, that's a lot of pressure. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like if my son was, I would know I was pressuring him. Your parents had to know, like, we're entrusting you to help us do this, right? For the
yeah,
greater goal of
yeah,
giving her the best life possible, right?
sure.
And
Mhm.
that'd be a lot of stress. Were your grades good? Would you like, because I'd probably not be good in school.
I was like a straight A+ student, Brian.
You're making me feel worse over here, because I graduated like a 2.3. I was bare I was barely able to graduate because I didn't care. But then I
Got
went to
it.
college and crushed it. So there's that.
There you go. There you go.
But you had straight
Yeah,
A's. That's amazing. Did you miss days of school? Are you one of those people?
I did miss days of school a lot. I missed a lot of days of school. I was sick a lot. I think it was that I was stressed and I was like, I just want to sleep. Like, just let me sleep,
You were like the only 15-year-old that had a smoking habit just for stress, right? You're like, I need cigarettes right now.
No, I think it was wine coolers. I think
Oh
that's
my
where I
gosh.
turned to
You're
was
bringing
wine.
wine coolers in your lunchbox to school.
I had to cope somehow. No.
just just to function. You're like, this is functioning.
I'd pour it in the milk carton so no one knew. That's all.
Like, I'm drinking chocolate milk, I promise. And you start to slur your words by like fourth period, you're slurring. Like, it brings a whole new conversation about binging. It really does. We talked about binging TV shows. You're binging wine cooler. But see, on a serious note though, that's a lot of responsibility. If my
Yeah.
parents gave me that, I feel like I would crumble, because I naturally was a selfish kid at in
Mm,
my teen years. I was selfish. I wanted what I wanted.
got it. Got it.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
like it was all my whole childhood growing up. My sister Lori, she was first, right? She's
Mhm.
special. She's first. That's like we always made her the priority. So I think I learned to make myself second. So it just was natural for me to do that. It's taken me a long time, I think, in my life. We're getting really deep, I guess, here now. To just go, oh wait, I deserve to have what I want, and I can live the life that I want, and I can do what I want to do in my life. And because I was always, I think, living for my parents and my sister to make their lives
Mhm.
here for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, I almost think I could have learned a lot more doing what you did, because instead of being so selfish. But you have on your Instagram page. I was going to ask you about this because I don't know much about the signs, like
Okay.
the astronomical signs, or
Got
what
it.
are they
Got it.
called? The
The zodiac signs, right? Yeah.
zodiac. I said astronomical signs. I mean, that's
I
really
knew
funny.
you
There.
meant.
What is an
I knew you
astronomical sign? It's like, it just drops in front of you. It says astronomical. Um, Jodie, you said you're a type A Virgo.
Yes.
Does that have anything to do with you being bossy in what you said? I've always been. Is that explain to me what a Virgo is? Because listeners may know, but I don't. Like, what's a
Yeah.
Virgo?
We're perfectionists.
Okay.
We we're usually right.
So you're my wife. Okay, I got that. I got that.
I was gonna say my husband would disagree because he thinks he's always right, but no, we're very meticulous, perfectionists. We get shit done. Like if
Okay.
you need anything, like I'm the friend that if you go, hey, I need this, you come to me, I'll make it happen. Like
Okay.
I can handle all the things. Like I get everything done. I can get anything done. Yeah.
Okay. Can you be a plumber? Can you work on? Can you knock that out?
You
Because
know, I would watch a freaking YouTube video and I would figure that shit out.
I was about to tell you, YouTube is my type A Virgo. That's where I go. That's what gets it done. I go to YouTube. I'm like, how do I fix a toilet? And I just look on there, and there it is. I'm like,
You
okay,
can find anything.
you can, you
Yeah.
can. Like, I went on there and I found this video, how to have a fun chat with Jodie Bentley, and it was on there. There was a guy on there explaining
Huh.
what to say and what not to say.
Wow.
I'm a Leo. Okay,
Okay.
what
Okay.
is that? Like, what
You
does a
know,
Leo entail? I'm gonna see if I
I
meet
don't,
that
I
characteristic.
don't, I don't know a lot of Leos in my life, so I don't.
Oh, well,
I
you
feel like
know me now.
I know. We'll have to Google. I'll have to Google it. Can I Google it?
Google it. I want to hear what. I want you to tell me what
Leos are the lion.
a
Um,
lion. Okay, I'm a
Leo
lion. Okay,
zodiac. So
check.
you're a lion.
I'm checking. I'm checking what you say here.
I know. Wait, hold on. The first article was from Allure magazine. This is going to be really great.
Oh, I subscribe to that. No,
Oh,
I
it's just
don't.
it's like your your horoscope. We don't want the horoscope.
Yeah.
No.
Mine's married and happy.
But like the Leo line, it's fire sign, you're passionate and theatrical and
Oh,
vivacious, right? Creative.
theatrical. I am
Yeah.
creative.
Oh, it says playful Leos have no problem leaning into drama-fueled romances. Do you want to share some stories about you and your wife?
What would that be? Like, what's a drama-filled romance,
I
Jodie?
don't
Like,
know. It could be anything.
is that
Could be
where, like, I'm in a scandalous relationship? Like
maybe.
that time I dated the president's wife and he didn't know? Is that what we're talking about?
Are you confessing something right now? Is that
I don't know. They were all old, so I don't know if that's really a winner for me. It's like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what president's wife I would really want to date.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be a scandal, like a
Drama.
drama fueled?
Fight all the time, or there's
Oh,
passion, and
I'm not a
you.
fighter though. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So my
Oh,
wife and I, we hardly ever argue.
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but we do argue. Like, she does make me mad, but but we never go to bed angry. That's a
Yes.
rule in our house.
Yes, we don't either.
That's a good
It's
rule,
very
right?
important. Yeah.
And when we're arguing, we never leave. Like, I never say, I mean, I want to sometimes, but we just don't leave. I'm going on a drive. We just cool down.
Yeah. We'll say like, "Hey, I need 15 minutes. I'm going to go in the other room," but we'll always say it. We'll never just walk out.
Are you okay? My wife is a processor.
Yeah.
I don't know what her sign is. She's January 7th. So whatever January 7th is, that's her.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
We'll look it up.
Yeah. See if we're compatible. A Leo and whatever she is. What if we're not? Oh my gosh. When she comes home, say, pack your stuff. We're not compatible.
Get out.
So says Jodie Bentley.
Oh God, no! Don't put the pressure.
Call Jodie. No,
Much
no,
pressure.
but seriously, she's a processor. So like, I want to, when we argue, like Jodie, me and you're arguing, I would want to fix it 10 minutes after we argued. I'm like, okay, let's work on it. Well, let's just make it happen. And she
Yeah.
doesn't want to do that. Like, she wants to sit and analyze it, and then an hour later come back and go, okay, let's talk this through. And I've
Yeah.
learned to communicate better by being married to her for so long. But
Sure.
are you like that, or are you more like me, where you're like, let's just knock it out right now?
I want to
And your
solve it.
husband's the other way.
Yeah, well, we're both very similar, which is great on so many levels, and on other levels, it's like, oh man. But we're both deep analyzers. He more so than I. I can also. I want to resolve. I want to solve. I want to get back to stasis. But yeah, we both are overthinkers. We both like to think and dissect, which can be great, if we're dissecting a show and talking about the True Detective that just ended, like that's super fun to analyze and dissect. But then in, fights, it's not the best sometimes.
I'm an underthinker, Jodie. I underthink things. I don't think enough about what I'm going to do. But maybe that works. Maybe that works for my wife.
I think sometimes it's important to just be an underthinker and just do it, right?
Just do it. Like, I don't put a lot of thought in it. I'm just going to do it because I'm dramatic. I'm theatrical.
You're vivacious.
I'm vivacious. And I'm a Leo.
Mm-hmm.
Not DiCaprio, just a Leo.
Yes.
He lives the life, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's like 50 something with 20-year-old girlfriends. I mean, I don't know. It's like, wow, that's got to get old. The maturity level is not really balanced.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine so.
I doubt they're having Leo conversations.
No. But there's probably drama-fueled romances.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Like, I would literally bang my head against the wall if I was 50 dating a 20-year-old and having to deal with that maturity level. No offense to any 20-year-olds listening.
No, it's just different. When you have life experience, it's just you relate differently you want a life partner that gets it,
You do. You want a life partner that gets it. Jodie, the relational part is fine, but like in life you do so much.
Yeah.
And do you ever have are you always doing something? Is your brain always working? Because I find that mine is constantly going. Like, is your brain constantly going?
Constantly. But I do a lot, right? And I love it. I love everything that I do. And I always feel really creative, and like my brain is just always thinking about, oh, that could work and that could be fun. And oh, that's a great idea. And oh, I could do that in this audition later this afternoon. And oh, I could write this article for my clients. And like my brain is always going, always.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always more. Like I feel like there's just, and it's probably, stems from how I was growing up in my childhood, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm always striving for more. Like, I feel like there's always more. Yeah, then that's a big difference with my husband and I is like, did you see the musical Hamilton? Do you know the musical Hamilton?
I haven't.
Okay.
Let me. Okay, real quick. Let me say this. I chatted with Amelia Milo. She is, if you don't know her, she's a great actress. She is the lead in Phantom of the Opera.
Okay, great.
In Italy.
Cool.
Yeah, so she's great. But I explained that I'm not a musical guy to her.
Oh, got it.
And she asked me Hamilton. I said no. So if the listeners, they know I got to get into most of my musicals. She said you could watch it. You can watch it on TV.
You can.
Because I'd never been to Broadway. Never done that. But I want to see her perform as Phantom, in the Phantom. But I like Sweeney Todd, but I like the movie. I like Mamma Mia, but I've seen the movie Grease. I can watch that.
You've seen musicals. You just haven't seen them on the stage. That's all.
Yeah, but I want to eventually. I'm gonna branch out. I'm gonna take my wife to a show. But I was gonna ask you if we could do the rest of the interview in song. Can we just chat in song the rest of it? Okay, Jodie. Tell me about what? Tell me about Hamilton. Okay, so tell me about Hamilton. Anyway, I'm listening.
I was just gonna quote Hamilton. So
quote Hamilton. I did all that just to hear you quote Hamilton.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, there's a song in it. The lyric is, "I'll never be satisfied." And that's how I always feel with my life is I'm never satisfied. I feel like there's always more.
You'll never
And
be satisfied.
yeah. And like,
That's your
and that
life.
sounds really, that sounds awful, right? It sounds like I'm
No.
like, I love my life. I love my house. I love my husband. I'm, very satisfied in my life. But in career wise, sometimes it's like, oh, there's more, right? I can never, like my husband's the opposite, right? He works in production. He works for Disney. He's a production accountant on a Disney TV show. He's been out of work since the strikes here in Hollywood. But he likes his job and he's like, yeah, this is what I do. And I'm like, don't you want more? He's like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, what do you mean you're fine? Like, I don't like, my brain doesn't get that. My brain doesn't get that.
It is funny when you're talking to someone whose brain doesn't work like mine and yours, because I'm constantly thinking like you, like,
Yeah.
what can I do next? Like, how can I evolve? I mean,
Yeah.
even with this podcast, I've evolved it from the
Sure.
first one to Jodie's. Now it's over now. Like, Jodie, you're it.
We've reached the pinnacle. We're done.
It's only downhill from here. It really is. It's only downhill from here. But it's tough. You got it in your brain. You're just constantly wanting to do stuff. How do you shut your brain off to relax? Because I'm genuinely asking that, because a lot of times I have a hard time shutting my brain off.
Yeah, it's hard. Well, I will say this. Wine was my favorite best friend for a very long time. And then I did dry January and I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. And I did it and I felt better. So I'm really trying not to use wine anymore to shut my brain down.
Okay.
So I haven't figured out now how to do it.
No more wine in the milk cartons.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
You have moved on from that.
Moved on. But I will say I'm very good at compartmentalizing. So like, like we have this today and then I have a meeting with my assistants and then I have to go do an audition and then I have to write content for a training I'm launching next week. That's all today. So I know like I'm going to do this thing, compartmentalize it. And now I move on to this and I can compartmentalize it. So I'm really good at switching quickly. Do you know what I mean? But I will say this. Go ahead.
No, I know what you mean. Like, it's switching. Yeah. You do different things. Yeah.
I could switch quickly, but I will say like my brain's always going until my head hits the pillow. I fall asleep like that. Like my brain, it's gone. It's like you worked me hard all day. Good night. I pass out.
You and I are a lot alike, Jodie.
Oh,
except I fall asleep like my wife's like, you could sleep anywhere. I fell asleep in the airport floor in Vegas. I was so tired. The plane was late. I'm like, you know what? I'm laying down. Boom. My problem is I'm a snorer. So I'm scared to snore on an airplane because I don't want Jodie sitting beside me and I'm like, and she's like, oh my gosh, this guy won't stop. But yeah,
you need those breathe right strips.
Oh my gosh, Jodie, that seems horrible. I feel like a dork in one of those breathe right strips. I really do. I've never tried one, but my wife's going to Africa in a week and a half, so she's taking the breathe right. We bought her a box because me and her sound like freight trains. I'm just saying. We're freight training it in the bed. My son does not even like to be in the room in our bedroom. He's like, I don't want to sleep with you guys because y'all snore too loud. That's his move. Yeah. I blame his mom. It is. But Jodie, I know what you mean. You shut down, and I kind of liked your low key schedule flex you just dropped on me right there. That's nice. You got a lot going on today. You just flex like, you know what? I got this. I got that. I got that. What about auditions? Like, I love talking to actors because they've all had different perspectives on the audition process.
Okay.
What is your perspective on auditions, and how many auditions have you done in your life? I can't wait to hear this number. Just make something up. Just be funny, because I know it's been a lot, right?
Oh, I mean, last year was a slow year with our strikes, and I probably had over 100 auditions last year, and I've been an actor for 20 years. So that's a lot of auditions. That's a lot of auditions.
Wait, so like your agent will send you an audition, right? And then you're like, do I want to do this or not? And then you go in. is there a time when you're walking in where you're like, I'm not getting this gig? Like, I know I'm not getting this gig. And you just do the best you can just to like, finish it up so you don't look like you're giving half of what you could do.
Yeah,
Is
I
there a
mean,
time like that? Because I gotta be honest, if I'm there and you come in audition, you got the job.
thank you, Brad. I appreciate
Sadly,
that.
you'll never see me in one of those rooms, but
It's
you
the
can
thought
show them
that
this
counts.
reel. Yeah, you can say, "Look, I was with Brad on work advice. I should
Yeah,
get this gig." Yeah.
correct,
So,
correct.
so what's it like? You walk in and you're like, "I'm a Type A Virgo," and
Well, now with auditions, we don't go in the room anymore. Everything is done at home. Like since
oh,
the pandemic, everything they call them self tapes. So like I have a whole area. This is my office, and I have a whole area with a backdrop, and I have my camera, and my husband reads all my auditions with me, and we put them on tape and send them off. So that's how they're done now. And if you get a call back, you can maybe go in the room, but a lot of the callbacks are done on Zoom, just like this, right? Where you see the
oh,
person and they see you. I mean, during the pandemic, I had a chemistry read on Zoom. So it was a new Apple TV series. And it was me and three other women for the role. Like it got down to four of us. And we had to do a chemistry read over Zoom, trying to find some connection with our husbands, through the Zoom lens. It was the weirdest thing. It was the weirdest
I,
thing.
it seems like it's hard. It would be hard to find chemistry for an acting gig on a Zoom. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we got good rapport here, but we're not
Mhm.
in person. Like, I feel like it'd be better if we were in the same room chatting it up.
Sure,
But
sure.
that seems hard. It seems like even more of a challenge.
Totally. And you don't know that person's energy, and you pop on the Zoom and that person pops on the Zoom, and now you have to read this scene that you've both rehearsed without each other and hope that you're listening and responding in some way, you know.
Are
So, yeah, it can be really challenging now.
are you watching the what do they call them? Executives or what do they call them that's watching you?
Yeah, and for a chemistry read like that, you'll have, the producer, the executive, the director, the casting director, but all their cameras are off. So you don't see
Oh, you
them.
can't see their face. That's even more intimidating, Jody.
I know. And then they're all gone, and then the casting director will pop on, and you'll see their face, and they'll give you notes, or the director will pop on and say, "Hey, try it this way." Then they go away, and then it's just you and the other actor, and you pin that person's face so you just see them. But yeah, it's definitely challenging. Going in the room was way more fun, but
It
it's where we're at now, and I don't. It doesn't seem like the industry is going to change back, right? They've saved a lot of money. They've saved a lot of money by figuring out how to do it virtually, and they can see people anywhere. So if there's a film casting in New York that's shooting in Bulgaria, well, I can still audition for it being in LA. I don't have to be in New York to go audition. So,
it for me, I started the work advice for the first from like May to December, May to November. I did all phone interviews and
yeah,
chats, and I didn't have video. And for me, it was way more intimidating. It's way more intimidating because if I was on
on
the
the
phone
phone,
with you,
more
yes,
intimidating. Yeah.
it was way more intimidating because I can't see your face. So I can feed
Right.
off your energy right now. I could be
Yeah.
cracking jokes and you could be on the phone going, "Oh my God," and you could be rolling your eyes like, yeah, I don't want
Doing
to
the
do this.
nails,
Yeah.
drinking
Like,
wine.
yeah, looking at your phone going, well, but then it's like, because somebody asked me, well, are you more, wouldn't it be harder on video? I'm like, no, it's so much easier because if you
Yeah.
come on and you bring energy, that's why for me, it's so hard to think about you having to do that with no camera on.
Right. Yeah.
I should turn my camera off and just chat with you without you seeing me. That would be,
You know what? I record like yesterday. I recorded 3 videos. Right, they're probably like 7 minutes each for my clients. Giving them tips about the acting biz. And I literally sit on my desk right here, and I'll just look at my camera and I just talk for 7 minutes. So I'm very used to doing
oh my gosh. Okay, so that brings me to this question. You're an acting coach,
acting business coach.
business coach. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
not coaching actors.
No, I'm coaching actors, but not on acting. So what I coach,
Oh,
I'm not teaching them how to act, right? I'm not teaching them how to work the camera or how to like unmine a script for clues of how to dissect it or analyze it. I don't teach that. What I teach them is how to brand and market themselves to break into the industry. So I help
Ooh.
them. So I help them like, like with your podcast, you had to figure out like, what's your POV, what's your tone, what's your brand, who's your market, who are you selling to, right? All that. That's what I help actors do. Because I think we're in a time now, especially where, in an audition, people like when I go into an audition, I love auditioning because I just get to show them who I am, right? Because that's really
Mm-hmm.
all they want to see is like, what's your take on this material? And I think the only way an actor can do that is by knowing really who they are and how they're perceived in the world and the stories that they want to tell and the type of legacy they want to leave in this world, right? So I help people define their brand and then create marketing strategies to land agents and really help them get more auditions. So that's what I do.
Wow. Can you look at someone and go, I can't help that person? Like, I don't, like, has that ever happened? Like,
Oh
you hang up
no.
and you look at your husband, you're like, hey, I don't know if I can help that guy, man. It's like, he doesn't even have a Facebook account. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's people who definitely come to me who are green or like I have a lot of my clients are clients like in their 30s, right? They've been in the biz a while. They're like, something ain't working. I need some help. Or maybe they had kids, they left the biz, they're coming back in. They're like, okay, who am I now? I need help. Um, but okay, but yeah, I feel so awful to say that. I've definitely had a few clients that I'm like, oh no. But a lot of those people I won't even coach. Like I'll say, hey, you know what? You need to get in an acting class first. You need to decide if this is more than a hobby, because like I'll watch people's material sometimes and go try to figure out who they are before, if I'm working one-on-one with them. And if they're not, up to par yet, I'm like, you need to work on your craft before we can work on getting you in the room. I'll say it in a nice way, but
I love the way you did that. You were so nice about being so mean. It's really nice. I like it. I like it. And to what you said earlier, I still haven't figured it out for what I do. Like for me, I'm just having fun. I don't really know that the social media is so hard. It is
yes.
so hard for me. Like and it is, and I don't, it's there's moments where I have a couple buddies of mine that really support me, and they'll call me and go, "You're doing good, man. Just keep
Mhm.
going." And
Yeah.
because you get those times you're like, "Why am I wasting? What am I doing here?" Yeah, This is a hobby. This is fun for me. This would be, you would say, Brad, it's a hobby. Um, and maybe you need to just practice a little more. I would be that guy that you thrown out, but
No,
it's,
no.
it's like, but it's good to have you. I really, really brought you on just to assess my. No, I'm kidding.
Let's
I was
do it.
like, I'm
Do
getting
it.
I'm getting around the business side. I really just wanted you to come on, assess the podcast, and then you can go. You can go do your thing. You can record NYPD Blue and all that stuff. No, no, but seriously.
But you said you don't. You're figuring. Look, we're always all figuring it out, right? No one's ever
Hmm.
got it figured out. We're all
Yeah.
figuring it out. We can look like we figured it out, but no one ever has it figured out.
Hmm.
But when you reached out to me and I listened to some of your podcasts, I emailed you this. I said there's just something about you that's so just genuine and open and fun and playful. That's the Leo, right? Look, that was Leo. That was the
That's
Leo
me.
description.
I'm always joking around.
But it was so just real and relatable and genuine and casual. And that's your brand. Like that's part of the brand that you bring. And I think, so many podcasts can be so polished sometimes that it's like, just like show me real freaking life. Do you know what I mean? Like
Oh my
real
gosh.
people in real life. Like, like because there was a point in social media, and I think it's still that way, where it's like everyone is just with the, filters and the perfection and the this and the that. And we're like, and the doom scrolling, So I
Oh,
think it's just really nice to have something real.
well,
So
hey Jody, I appreciate that. You listeners, I did pay her $1 million to say that. She's
$1 million. I only got $10 in the bank
yeah.
from you.
Under her name right now, it says not an actual customer. You know how those commercials where they're like bragging about the drug, and it says this is a paid actor. I'm like, well, they don't really take the drug. I want the real person who's like own the drug and let me know if it's good. You know what I mean? That's what I want. But
That, okay, I have
but
a funny
to
story to share with you after this.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I
You tell
want to
me.
hear that. But I appreciate the realness because that's me. when I have people on that I have, you watch Survivor, right? You ever watch Survivor?
I have, because my husband is a diehard fan. So I will sit sometimes and work on the computer and watch it with him and then get sucked in, but I don't know anyone's names or what's happening.
Okay. Well, Heidi from Survivor 44 works with
Okay.
me now on the Work Advice Network. She's great. She finished second. Like she lost at the
Husband
final.
will know who she is. I'm writing this down.
Write
Heidi.
it down.
Four.
You can follow her on my page. You'll see her on my page. Me and her do a lot of chats with reality stars. That's her thing, right?
Oh, got it. Cool.
But when I watch Survivor, I have watched it for years.
Okay.
The realness in me is I want to ask the questions that nobody ever asked on TV to these people, because you're never going to get questions that I want to ask, because I'm sitting here wondering. So I was like, Heidi, where'd you take a dump at when you're on Survivor? Because Jodie, you have to think that. Like, you never see. Thank you, Jodie. I appreciate you agreeing with me on that. Because, I have Sarah on from Naked and Afraid. She's actually going to be on Naked and Afraid Sunday night. Again, her second time. She's dropped it. So she's a friend of mine now. I've met her through this podcast, and we chat back and forth. I asked her, hey, what's going on with the dumping on Naked? You want to know this stuff? And my dad says I bring that up every podcast because I'm always asking people. I ask Amelia Milo, hey, you got to go to the bathroom. You're on stage for 3 hours. You wearing a diaper? I pitched the opera diaper. We could market that. She's like, I don't know. I think that might smell. I'm like, you could maybe do it.
I'm nixing the opera diaper. So.
But spoiler alert, Jodie.
Yeah.
With Survivor.
Yeah.
During the day, they do their dumping in the ocean. At night, they're not allowed to go in the water.
Ugh.
So it's pitch dark, and they have a hole that they have to find. That's the spoiler alert. For anybody listening, the Heidi conversation hasn't dropped yet, so you might be like, okay, I didn't know that. I just answered it for Heidi. If Heidi was here, she would attest to that.
Got it. Well, for those of you only listening and not seeing this, but the look on my face is of disgust.
Yeah, she's disgusted because she grew up with a sister, not two brothers. I found that when I bring a guest on that had two brothers, they're always like, oh my gosh, they farted on me daily. I hear that all the time. That's the move, Jodie. But sister, you're more prim and proper. That's the way we roll. Yeah. But anyway, back to we got the sidetrack. But I do appreciate that, Jodie, that you talk about it. I'm gonna be real. I had this question asked to me last night, and I'm gonna ask you this question. On a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
1 being no, like the least, 10 being the best.
Yeah.
How hot am I? No, I'm kidding. That was a joke. That's not what. On a scale of 1 to 10, your face was classic right there, though. I liked it. I can't.
I was like, all right.
You're like, I'm gonna go for it. You're a 3. How well do you know yourself?
Oh,
that's a deep question.
Yeah, a 10.
You're a 10?
I know myself. Can I swear on this, Tanya? Can I swear on this? Or no? Do we not swear?
I'll just beep you out. You can swear.
All right. No, I won't swear. I'll just say
No, say what you're going to say. Own what you're going to say, Jodie. Say it. I'll pray for you afterwards.
I know myself really fucking well, is what I was going to say.
Okay, but how did you get to know yourself? Because I was in a group last night, and we were talking about it, and some of them were in their early 20s.
Okay.
And one guy's 21. He says, I'm an 8. Now, I gave myself...
I don't buy that. 21 and an 8, I don't buy it. Mm-mm.
Well, Jodie, I know you're going to be shocked because I know I look like I'm 25. But I'm going to be 45 this year.
Okay.
And I gave myself a 7. And I was thinking, how am I 44 and a 7? And he's 21 and an 8.
Because
and now you're 29 and a 10. So
well,
I need
I'm
to.
Not 29, we'll say that.
You are today.
You are today. I'm not divulging my age, but I've experienced a lot in my life. I've lost both my parents already. My sister's guardian. I've had breast cancer. I got breast cancer in my early 30s. I'm
Wow.
great now. But I've experienced, a lot of trauma. And that, I think, life experience, I think, really helps you understand who you are. And I've done a lot of, therapy with dealing with my parents, and all of that. So I know my shit. I know my bullshit. I know my excuses. I know how I show up. I know my triggers. Like I know my husband gets, and I'm like, and then I tell my husband knows all my stuff. So he's like, babe, you're getting really triggered right now because of blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I know. You don't have to tell me. I know. But no, I've really done a lot of work to know who I am. But I also think that makes me a better actor.
Trauma's tough. We all have trauma, right? I will tell people that listen, we carry a bag, an invisible bag everywhere we go, a suitcase full of trauma. Now, how we unpack that trauma is important. Some people do podcasts. Some people
Act.
act. But it's hearing what you just said, because I was going to ask you about your parents, because and to know they passed, I'm sorry about that. How long have they been gone?
Let's see. My dad passed in 2018, and my mom passed in 2021.
Okay, so recently,
I lost them really young. They were really young. Yeah.
How young?
Well, my dad was 70. My mom was 71.
That is young. 70 is the new 60.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it is. My dad is a loyal listener. He's gonna be 73 this year. So
hi, Dad.
he's getting up there. My mom passed away with ALS when she was 29. So she's been gone since I was like almost 5. Yeah. That's not me topping you. I wasn't trying to take away from you.
Oh God, no,
but,
no, not at all. I'm so sorry.
You should come back with, I like your low key top there. But you're now a caretaker to your sister, right?
Yeah,
so that's a lot on you. You're juggling all this and still providing. Your husband's How long have you been married?
We've been married it'll be 7 years this year.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations. 7 years this year. That's amazing. 7 years is good, especially in Hollywood.
Well, we're actually high school sweethearts, and that's a whole story that I can share with you.
No, what is it? Tell me. That's way more fun than me.
We were talking about trauma and your mom.
No. Dude, she's been gone 40 years this year. Let's talk about how you are high school sweethearts.
All right. So we first kissed when I was 13 years old. Okay.
Okay, wait. How old is your husband?
Oh, he's 2 years older than me. So
okay, good. Because if you were like, he was 20, I was 13.
He was 32. I was 13.
My mom called us, and now he served a little bit in jail, but he's good now.
Oh my God.
Did you just snort? Or did you snorted?
I did.
I snort too. I like that. Anyway, so back to your story.
So yeah, we knew each other in high school. And then when we were always flirting, and I always had a crush on him. And then when I was 15, he finally asked me out. And we dated for like a year and a half, which is a long time. And like he went off to college and we still dated. And then I moved to New York for acting. I went to NYU for acting school. And we stayed in touch for a while. And every time I'd come home, we'd see each other, and then we lost touch. And then I did a lot of theater, and I met another guy while I was doing theater, and we ended up getting married. And then now the story is getting really long. Anyway, I was married for a while.
I'm enjoying it. I'm on this story ride right now. I'm a passenger. Just keep dishing.
Okay. So we lost touch. I got married, had a whole other life. And then, my acting career, my coaching business took me out to Los Angeles. Well, my now husband, Matt, and his brother lived in Los Angeles. I was like, oh my God. So I reached out to them and I was like, let's have dinner. And we got together for dinner, and we saw each other again after like 10 years of not seeing each other. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. There's just like this spark that was still there, but I was married. And so then we were friends for like about 3 years or so, and we'd see each other, I don't know, once a year, twice a year when I would come out before I lived out here. And then my marriage just started to fall apart. It just wasn't, the right thing. It was fine, but we were more like roommates, and it wasn't the right fit for us. And so I ended up getting divorced, and then Matt and I started hanging out more, and about a year later we got married.
Okay, so I want to work on the timeline here, Jodie. Okay, so we're gonna really dissect what's going on in Jodie's brain. So
I have a PowerPoint. Would you like me to share the PowerPoint?
Please, let's share. I can share the screen. We'll show the watchers. Okay, so you get the divorce. You tell the ex, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm done." Right.
Yeah.
How long before how long before you call Matt up and go, "Hey, I'm a free agent. I'm looking for a manager. I could come in. We might go to a hot dog on a stick." Well, yeah. Like, how long? Are we talking less than 72 hours or more than 96 hours? I mean, there's
more than 72. No, it was like, I mean, look, the marriage had been dissolving for a good like 4 or 5 months. Like, we went to couples therapy twice a week trying to figure it out, and our therapist was like, exhausting. You guys have really diverted in your lives, so it was and we divorced really amicably. Like, we didn't need, it was very amicable. We did everything ourselves. It was great. I mean, as great as a divorce can be, I suppose. It was still sad.
Our divorce is great. That's the next thing.
No, they're not. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't too long afterwards. I mean, Matt knew what was happening during that time, because he was still like, in my circle of people. But we didn't make anything public. Like, I think our divorce, like, we knew we were getting divorced in January of that year. I think it was finalized in March of that year. And then in September of that year, Matt and I made it public that we were.
Y'all came out as an official couple. But trust me, all your friends were like, we knew that. We knew they were dating. We knew they were dating. Nobody was surprised. They were like, okay, we know Jodie and Matt. They've been sweet on each other since high school.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
When you saw him 3 years prior to the divorce, right?
Yeah.
You were like, I kind of still like this guy.
Yeah. There was a little.
I like your honesty. You're being very vulnerable and real right now. I would be mad at my wife if she saw an ex or a guy and she was like, I kind of like that guy. I'd be like, hold on a second. We need to talk. Like, I will go 3 days a week couples therapy before you go to that guy. Did your ex go, I knew you liked him? Did he ever pop that up in an argument later on? Or are y'all amicable? Y'all are like, wait, are y'all like the Bruce Willis, Demi Moore relationship status thing?
No, we don't speak now.
Okay, good. Because if you're about to say he comes over for Thanksgiving, I'm gonna be like, whoa.
No, we shared a dog, so we had joint custody of the dog for a few years, and then the dog passed, and then we never spoke again. So kind of
the dog was keeping you together.
We'd swap the dog. We both loved the dog so much. So literally every month, he would get the dog for a month, and I would get the dog for a month.
Oh my gosh! So you kind of did like the Teen Mom thing, where they show up at like at the TGI Fridays and they drop the kid off to the dad. You're like dropping the dog off. You're like, Matt, we got to go meet him. I got to drop the dog off today. And Matt's like, again with the dog and the meeting. Did he ever get in the same room with him?
They never did. No, they never did.
I wouldn't want to do that either if I was Matt. Good move on Matt's.
Yeah, he did not want that.
Matt's like, look, she's happy with me, buddy. Like, this is where we were meant to be at 13.
I know.
Did Matt have braces at the time?
No, he didn't. He was 50.
Did you?
He didn't have braces. I never had braces, Brad.
You got those pearlies without braces?
No braces. Do you believe it?
Jodie, I am again. You have topped me. I feel like this whole chat you've just been topping me, Jodie.
Yeah.
So here's my move. I had an underbite, which wouldn't be good in
Okay.
the actor biz, right? Like
No.
you don't want that.
You'd play very
So
mean.
I would be a mean guy, but I don't want to be a mean guy.
You're
Although,
not a
Jodie, I've told my wife this numerous times. If I was an actor,
yeah.
I would want to be the villain in the movies because I'm a nice guy all the time. I'd want to be the
Yeah.
opposite. I just want to be the bad guy. You know, the guy
Right.
John Wick is trying to fight, that guy. But I don't think I could do that because I'm not muscular. But anyway, so I
You
had to
train.
have surgery. I had to have jaw surgery, Jodie. Like
Oh my God.
they broke my jaw. They set it back, put like 20 screws up in the old mouth, took a little bone out of the hip, put it up here to make it fit right. So, but my point in your face is amazing right now, by the way. My point in getting to that is prior to that, I had to have a crank in my mouth. So I would crank to spread my teeth apart. Imagine being in school and having to crank and then wear braces and then have surgery. It was awful. My face was like swollen. My 16th birthday party, my dad blended up me a burger. I had to suck a burger out of a straw. That's pretty pathetic. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
Jodie,
God. And
so
that's like prime teenage years.
well, Jodie, see, I did not have a girl kiss me in high school. I wasn't as fortunate as you with Matt. Like I had 0 dates and 0 options because I just didn't. Girls back then they're like, we don't. Personality's not it. We want looks. We're talking 90s now. But yeah, so I had the balloon face. My junior picture in the yearbook. I look like a squirrel, like a chipmunk, squirreling up the nuts and your face. So I think I just topped you, but I'm amazed that your teeth are so nice.
Thank you.
Because I got the retainer, the retainer, and my dad's like, "You lose that retainer, we're not replacing it." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I'm losing the retainer. Boop, it's gone." And they told me my teeth would just go back to like, but it's not too bad. It's not bad. I live with my. They're not as nice as yours. I've only got the fronts. The rest of them have fallen out. But no, I'm kidding. You're looking at me.
I was like, I thought I saw. Well, you might have like fake teeth. I don't know. You
I
could
don't
have like
have
a whole
fake teeth. Is that
I think
is that a
I'm
movie in
gonna spread
Hollywood?
that
Fake
rumor
teeth?
about you now.
Yeah. Spread that around the
no.
podcast community.
Okay, I will. Fake teeth in Hollywood. It's funny. I just saw like a Instagram reel that someone was doing, and it was about. And I don't like gossiping about people at all, but it was about how Emily Blunt has veneers or something, and it showed her teeth over the years and what her real teeth look like and the veneers that she has. And I was like, yeah, I guess people do that. I guess.
Well, Jodie, I'm not a gossiper myself. I do like drama filled. What is that? Drama filled relationships.
Yes, exactly.
But do you do this with Matt? Because I do this with my wife, Kristen. I will see people in Hollywood, and it's not just actresses and actors. We're talking news people, anybody. Their face looks deformed. I'm like, I don't understand what you've done to get to this point in your life where your face is just plastered, stretched, and you don't even look the same. And I'm not going to name names, but you know who I'm talking about. You can think about plenty of people in your brain. Yeah,
Sure.
it's weird, right? But I guess in that world, you've got to continue to try to look younger. And it's stupid to me because I think women look fine at 60.
It's tough. There's definitely ageism in Hollywood. I I mean, I do not want to get plastic surgery. I don't have Botox. I don't do any, I do have a really good skincare regimen. But I don't want to do any surgical things on my face. Like, I want my face to look like my face, you know? And I know there's good people and blah, blah, blah. And you hear all those stories too. But yeah, it saddens me that I think women feel like they have to do those things, or that society dictates that they have to. And that's really sad, you know. But then it's on the same tone, and I'll call myself out on it. Like, sometimes I'll see you know, a person I haven't seen in a long time, whether that's an actor or whatever, a female, and I go, oh, they look older, right? Like, that's just what we think. And I'll find myself saying it, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm perpetuating the problem, you know? Like, I don't want them to do anything, but I also don't want you to look older. So, and I think that's the push and pull that women feel, you know, like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
And it's more for women that struggles, because I mean, I think about like Paul Newman. He just looked old when he died. I mean, he didn't. Even Meryl Streep, I can't even tell if she's ever had work. She looks like normal. I mean, she's got natural beauty. But you got other older actresses, and you're like, yeah, they've definitely met the Botox. I don't know, but yeah, it's
I want to be able to do this, Brad. I want to furrow my brow at you, you know?
Yeah, I could do my unibrow.
Because if I had Botox, I would just look like this all the time. I don't know how they act.
What about the women? I can't tell if your eyebrows are like this or not, so forgive me if I'm offending you. What about the women that draw their eyebrows?
Oh, yeah.
Yours are not drawn. I'm pretty sure yours are not drawn.
Yeah.
What if I drew mine like this?
You know, we could rebrand you, Brad, and we could do that.
Angry podcast.
Angry podcast. The Angry Work Advice Podcast.
Where you get zero work advice. We've given zero work advice.
Perfect. I mean, I don't know how much work advice was given today, so
my dad's like, you know, you don't really dish any work advice out on there, because like I told you, he listens to every episode. He knows, and I'm like, yeah, it's really, we're just talking. Like, I'm just meeting a new friend. We're just hanging out. That's really what it's no different. Yeah. So, but
you might need a new name, is what we're figuring out.
But you can't rebrand the name this far in, right? You can't. I tried to explain that to my dad. I'm like, look, we can't do that. I've really done it this far in. I don't know what I would call this at that point. Maybe I'd call it Laughing with Jodie. I don't know. If I called it Brad's Basement,
Brad's Basement.
That seems creepy.
Creepy, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like I'm taking. Matt's gonna want to come over to my house and fight me. I'm like, I'm taking Jodie down to the basement. We're gonna have 7 minutes in heaven, but we won't go 7 minutes, Matt. I promise. We're not actually kissing. We're just getting to know each other.
Oh my God,
Jodie, what would you call this podcast?
Oh, I don't know. It has to be something along the what we're saying, like the genuine, relatable, casual, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Chit chat, something. I don't know. Some like fun alliteration, something about dishing, chatting. I don't know. What do you say when you like talk to me? I know I can't like dishing with Brad. It sounds like it doesn't sound right at all.
Then I sound like I'm Billy Bush on Inside Hollywood, like dishing with Billy. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that.
But you totally could rebrand. I rebranded my coaching business in January. I changed the name of it completely because I've run 5 different businesses so far in my life, and 4 of them were 2 of them, were actor coaching businesses. And then I stopped coaching for a while because it was sort of taking me away from my own acting career, and I was so caught up with my clients that I just needed to not do that for a bit. So I took a couple years off of coaching, and then when I came back to it, I said, well, I don't want to build a whole brand again, right? I didn't want to have to do that. So like, I'm Jodie Bentley. I'm Jodie Bentley, an actor, and I'm Jodie Bentley, career coach. So I literally bought the domain Jodie Bentley Career Coach. And that's what I've been doing since 2018. But now my business is global. Like, I have clients in 17 countries. I've helped like over 2,300 actors. I have memberships, courses, programs. And I was like, I can't just be Jodie Bentley Career Coach. Like, I'm not just a career coach anymore. I have all these programs. So last year, I kept thinking about changing the name, and I was like, what do you call it? That's the hardest thing, And then I just started thinking about how actors really they feel like that they're on the outside, right? They're on the outside looking in. Like, I want to be there. I want to be at the Oscars. I want to be at the Emmys. I want to do what those people are doing, but I feel like I'm on the outside looking in. And so my new company is Actor Insider. And I
I
launched that
like
in
that.
January.
Actor Insider.
Yeah. And I think people are really resonating with it. I think so now my new like tag is, I help actors go from outsider to in demand. And so like now it says what I do as opposed to Jodie Bentley career coach, which could be a career coach of anything, right? I could
Yeah.
coach public speakers, I could coach whatever. So I did a big rebrand in January, and I did like I changed everything. I did like a big giveaway and, announced this new name. So you could you could just can't you just change the name of your podcast like on Apple and all that stuff and just do a big like relaunch episode, and I don't know, you could do a bunch of things. You could do a giveaway, you could do some fun stuff. You
Interesting.
could, is what I'm saying.
I'm gonna give away free acting lessons from Jodie
Great.
without your permission.
Brad.
Matt will be like, "What's going on? I've got a lot of people calling," and you're like, "Well, I mean, I don't know. Brad must have tagged me in something." I need you to say free acting lessons because I'm gonna chop this up.
No.
No, don't say. Okay, Jodie, but I feel like the rebrand. My dad's been on me about the rebrand. You got to call it something else.
Right. That's right.
But I got like, I don't want to hurt my 6 followers on Instagram.
You won't. You have to make it a good
Can you
thing.
change the name on Instagram?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Because I don't want to do a whole new page. See, that's exhausting to me.
Yeah, no. You don't have to get rid of anything. You don't have to rebuild anything. You're just going to change the name on places, and you can just do a really a big penultimate episode of whatever. But you could do like a fun giveaway, something. I don't know. How many people have you interviewed? If you even got 5 of those people to like give you something for free, like literally, you know what I mean? And you can go, hey, the whatever the 4,000th person who likes my podcast will get this thing. Do you know what I mean? And then get all these people to like keep liking you or commenting or stuff. You could do a lot of buzz around, Fred.
I need the buzz because you're making me excited. I'm thinking like, what if I called it? I like how we're just having a therapy session and people are probably like, this sucks. Like, it's supposed to be about Jodie and Brad's just totally made it about himself. What if I called it Brad Wants to Know You? Boom.
Okay. You're getting closer there. I like that.
It's a little better. He wants to know you, but he's going to tell you all about him. See, that's
that's the tag.
You got Alan like, yeah, I know all about Brad now. Something like that, catchy. It's not on iTunes already. See, you don't want to have the same name. I don't want to call mine Actors Insider.
Right.
That's
please
you.
Don't. Yeah.
I'm not.
Don't.
I respect you. I wouldn't do that.
I trademarked it, so I'd have to sue you.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine if you sued me right now? You're like, oh, by the way, you've been served. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
There's a knock on your basement door.
Yeah, oh my gosh. My wife would be like, there's some lady out here with a guy named Matt, and they've got papers. I'll be, oh, it's Jodie. She came to give me her autograph. That's what I would say, and it's not really that. Like, I'm finally getting an actress autograph. This is amazing. Maybe I could rebrand it. I need to think about this. Because it's been intimidating to me because I'm like, I've created the work advice brand, but the name just doesn't flow anymore. I'm not getting work advice. I'm just getting to know you.
Yeah. I mean, I could give some work advice if you want me to, like just to.
You have given some. Let me ask you, what have you seen someone come through your business that has just boom, hit it? Oh, I'm sure they all do, but you're like, oh my gosh, that person was just in a Leonardo DiCaprio movie. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of my clients was just in Babylon with Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie.
That's a big
I have multiple clients who are series regulars and new shows that will be coming out. I have lots of clients on Broadway and touring with Broadway shows. I mean, yeah, totally.
That's amazing.
And, yeah, it's great, and I love it. I love helping other people. And I mean, I started my business because I was an actor in New York, and I went to
Hmm.
NYU, Tisch School of the Arts, very prestigious acting program. And I thought, I'm going to be 22 and be on Broadway, and life's going to be amazing, right? I thought like my whole career was paved out just because I had this great education. And it was so hard when I got out of acting school, and because no one teaches you how to run it as a business, right? Like they teach you how to act and how to expand yourself. And one of my last roles I played in college, I played a bald hunchbacked man. That was one of the last roles I played.
Wait, they couldn't hire Danny DeVito for this. They wanted you.
So that's what I'm saying. You're in college and they're like, yes, you're an actor. And if you're an actor, you have to play different roles. And you're like, okay. So I put on this like bald cap and I grew out my armpit hair and I grew out my leg hair. I was like, I'm going to
Wait,
really
you went full method? You grew the hair out.
I did. I know. And then I get out in the real world and they didn't want that. Can you imagine that, Brad? They didn't want me bald.
You weren't with your first husband at this time, right?
No.
You were like, hey, you want to go on a date? And you go, let's go. Like, nah, I'm good, Sasquatch. We really don't need this. Like, I think I could get past the hairy armpits. I don't know the hairy legs.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad too. It was. I
Oh my gosh.
But my acting teacher was like, you are brilliant. I was like, I know. And then I get out in the real world and I was like, I don't know how to do this. Like, I don't know who I am to get in the rooms and get the audition. I thought I could play bald hunchback men, and they're like, no, you can't. And so it took me a long time to figure out how to do it. So like I really struggled for about 8 years as an actor. I had some success here and there. I did a lot of plays, a lot of musicals, but I was not getting where I wanted to go. And then I finally was like, you know what? I think it's business. I don't understand business skills. And I literally, Brad, I read every business book that I could get my hands on, everything. And about branding, marketing, sales. I read so many sales books. And I was like, okay, so these are business fundamentals that work in the real world. How do I take these things and apply them to me, a creative human being, an artist, an actor? And then that's when I started building like branding systems and marketing systems for actors. And as soon as I did that, 6 months later, I got my first agent. I got an off-Broadway show. I got to be on a cast recording of one of Stephen Schwartz's musicals. You don't know musicals, people, so he wrote Wicked. So one of his earlier musicals I got to be in.
I saw the preview for the new Wicked movie coming out.
There you go. So you got to see that?
Let's do a watch party. You and I. We'll do a watch party.
That's good. So anyway, I trained myself on business, and then all my actor friends were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? How'd you do that? What do you do that? And so then after about like the 40th free coffee date, I was like, you know what? I think I have a skill set here that artists need of really understanding how to run their careers business. And that's how I started coaching people. But it really fuels me to help other actors, because most actors are just creative, right-brained people. They don't know how to, I need a marketing plan now. I have to launch a campaign to get an agent. They don't know how to do that. So that fuels me in my life, because acting, I book a role here, I book a role there. I do audiobooks. That's my booth. I have a booth in my office. I do a lot of narration. So I do a lot of jobs, but in between that, I get to coach people to help them do it too. So I love it.
Okay, audiobooks. I love that. My wife and I get into this fight because she claims listening to Jodie read me a book does not count as actually reading the book. I say listen to Jodie counts, right? I asked Christine Lakin. You know who Christine Lakin is?
Yes.
She's been on the show 3 times. She's a 3-timer. The only 3-timer I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah, but she must have hit her head because she came on 3 times. But she likes reading audiobooks for Audible, or she said, as a mom, I can go do 4 hours after I drop my kids off. Yeah. Boom, it's a job, and it's not bad.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. I love telling stories because, and I do a lot of mystery thriller books, done some romance stuff, but it's just so fun to tell a story, and I get to play characters and do character voices, and it's fun. I love it.
What's a book I could listen to you on Audible with?
Like right just now. Search my name on Audible.
I'm searching you right now, but what's your favorite book read? What's your best?
I just finished a 12-book series.
Oh my gosh.
John Mefford is the author, and I just loved this character so much. Agent Trout. I played an agent, FBI agent. She was the heroine of the book, but it's just really good, like cop drama, thriller, mysteries.
Let me hear do you have the voice? Do you have a voice? Can I hear a voice?
God, can't. Okay, so that a lot of those books took place in Boston. So Jerry was one of the detectives he was the head guy, the big chief of the police department was Jerry. So that was my Jerry voice.
Do you ever want to have a conversation with Matt in your voices just to practice? Because I would do that with my wife.
I do some stuff like that with him. It's very fun. Yeah.
Really?
I share stuff with him all the time, and yeah, we laugh.
So the Massachusetts drops the R, right? They're like more like, okay, so we're gonna go over here and we're gonna get a hamburger, and am I anywhere?
You're close. You're close. Yeah.
I got a lobster roll. We're gonna eat some lobster.
Yeah,
Jodie,
lobster.
did you bring the lobster? And
yeah.
But I've had some people from Massachusetts try to do my accent on the podcast, and not too well. They can't do it. They got to add the R. Then they just go R, R. Then they're a pirate. Yeah. So you did this. Do you ever just get tired of reading? Like, I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. I've been doing this all day so Brad can hear it.
Well,
I don't want to.
Like Christine was saying, it's like I'll go in my booth for a couple hours. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm going into a publishing company and doing it, you're there for 7 hours. Do you know what I mean? And you get an hour break for lunch and you're doing it. But here I'll do a podcast. I'll do an audition. I'll go record my book for 2 hours. Like you can kind of do it on your own time, which is nice.
Plus that gives you time to be home with, and have a life. I like you got a booth in your house. I totally am fascinated about it. Can you turn? I just want to see. Can I see that? Oh my gosh! You just go in there.
Yeah, it's 4x4. It's pretty small, but I'm small, so it works.
I would lock myself in there sometimes. My son drives me crazy. I'm like, I'm going in the booth. What's Dad doing? It's no smoking in there. I don't even smoke, Jodie, but I'm pretending to.
Pretend.
Have you ever had to smoke in a role?
Yes.
Are you a smoker?
No.
You don't strike me as a smoker because you don't talk like this, right? Your detective guy, he sounds like a smoker.
Yeah.
He's a heavy smoker.
Yes.
But what is it like when you have to pretend to smoke?
It's not great. There's, but they have pretend cigarette stuff or, and I don't want to smoke real cigarettes. But they have, like prop cigarettes that you can use. I think I had an audition recently where they said she smoked. So I actually bought these on Amazon. So it looks like a little tip thing.
Oh my gosh.
So I could do it the roll and do that.
Oh, you're smoking on the pot. You're the first person that's ever smoked while they've talked to me on the pot. Can you just hold that? Yeah, just talk to me like that.
Okay. So yeah, I can't even do it. It's awkward. I was good in the audition. I promise.
Jodie, I go buy the candy cigs. We call them heaters at our house. I get a candy heater, and my son and I will hold them in our mouth, and I'll have a conversation with him. And my wife's like, "Y'all two are morons. Y'all are making it like smoking's fun." And my wife goes, "If he turns into a smoker, it's on you." Fault. And I'm like, "No, it's not my fault. We're having fun. We eat these suckers. They're like it's like sugar sticks." We're like,
I remember those as a kid. I had those as a kid. Like I can't believe they sold them to kids when we were growing up.
100%. And you buy the dip, the Big League Chew, like you're doing tobacco. Like you want to be.
Love the Big League Chew.
Me too. They're like, we want to get these kids interested in cancer really early. Like we want to make sure Brad has mouth cancer by 18. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, the cigarette smoking is amazing. But Jodie, so you do the readings, you do the acting.
Yeah.
Where can we see you? Where are we going to find you now? Like, what's next for you? Besides, I'm going to be listening to this audiobook, and I'm going to listen to that.
I mean, obviously you can hear all my audiobook stuff. I have a film that I did last year, a horror film actually, which is ironic because I am a huge baby when it comes to horror films.
Wait, Paul, you don't like scary movies?
No.
Oh my gosh, my wife hates scary movies. So I got to watch them by myself a lot of times.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll suck it up. I'm like, okay, I'm an adult freaking woman. I can do this, but I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy being scared. Like, I don't like the feeling. at all. So yeah, my husband has seen a few movies with we have a couple that we always go to the movies with. And sometimes I'm like, you guys go, go. You got the three of you go. I don't need to go. I'm like, I'm good.
But that's not as fun. Jodie, let me tell you where I was at last weekend. Your mind's gonna be blown.
Okay.
A buddy of mine's like, I got free tickets. My sister hooked us up. So I was like, I'll take my son. So I had my 10-year-old, me and him. We went to what's called the Mad Monster Party.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
But no, you're shaking your head. No, you go in there, you get some weirdos. There's some freaky looking people in there. You got people dressed up like Jason, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers. My son's seeing it. The girls have they're wearing these tight skirts with their bosoms showing. And I'm telling my son, hide your eyes, boy. You can't see this. So we get in there and they have all these actors. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got Bo and Luke Duke, which I grew up watching Dukes of Hazzard. They were there.
But not people, not actors portraying them, but the actual
actors? John Schneider, Tom Wopat, there. Lou Diamond Phillips, Jason Patrick, Kiefer Sutherland.
What?
Kevin Spacey.
I can't go any higher, so stop saying names.
I just want to Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie. What? Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anybody else that you would? You're not in the horror field, so they had some horror. They had some wrestlers, and then they had these guys, and they're there. This is what I'm saying, Joe.
What was it? Why were all these people there? What were they doing?
They bring them there. Now, this is what I heard. My buddies, I'm like, hey, man, if you're at a convention and you're an actor, is that sad or is it good?
Oh, it was a convention.
A Mad Monster Party. Yes, I need it. So they're there at the tables. You got to pay them for an autograph. Yeah. Cheapest one was $40. And I'm like, hey, man, I refuse to pay for someone's signature. Not happening. And Kevin Spacey, it was $200. I'm like, good gosh, man. There's no way. Yeah, and he wouldn't even sit in public. You had to go into a private room for him. It was you can't even see him. Didn't see him. But actors, it was different.
A ton of money at those conventions.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not sad because I got home and my phone let me know that I'd been to conventions because then I noticed Christine Lakin and all the step-by-steppers are going to a 90s convention, which seems fun. I'd love to do that. Right. There's so many conventions with all these big name actors.
Yeah.
I guess that's the way. He said they don't have to cut their agents in on that deal.
Oh, so they just pocket that money directly. Yeah. Because I when I moved out to LA, I produced a few short films, and one of them was with Tyler Mane, who was, original Wolverine. He was, he's done all those things. And so
Tyler, he's a wrestler, right? Is he a wrestler?
No, he's an actor. He's an actor. Okay. And so he was in my film, and we went to Comic-Con in New York. We had a booth at Comic-Con, and we premiered the film there. And he got a booth there, and he was signing autographs. And yeah, you can make a lot of money doing that.
What would you charge me for your autograph right now?
Brad, I'll let you have it for free, Brad. I'll just sign it. It's fine.
I want your autograph to hang behind me right here so everyone can see it.
Great.
Every episode. That's good promotion. And we could promote your biz right behind me,
You need sponsors. That's what you need. You need sponsors.
You don't have to. All I want is so if I was if you were gonna charge though, let's say you saw me and you're like, Brad, I'm gonna sign Jodie Bentley. Because what's crazy is that Kevin Spacey, he had a fee. But then if you wanted him to write your name, it was an extra $80. And then if you wanted him to write 10 characters, quote, it was an extra $80. Oh. And I'm thinking, is Kevin Spacey counting the letters? If I come up and say, I want you to say happy birthday, is he going HAPPYB? I would want to get in on 9.
Somebody was. He had an assistant doing that for sure.
Oh my gosh, I would feel like a nickel and dimer at that point.
Yeah,
if it's me.
I know.
I'm not trying to bash Spacey. Great actor, but I don't want to do that. So what would you charge? Minimum price was $40, by the way, at this convention.
Well, Okay, look, I've done a lot in my career, but people don't know me. I'm not a household name, so I
I know
couldn't
you.
charge for it.
You
They
could
don't know me
charge.
yet, Brad. They don't know me yet.
They will
Um,
know you after they hear us chat.
great. Yeah, you said you're helping me get acting jobs. Right? You said
Yes,
it.
I am. I'm gonna
I'm gonna come
text
up with a
Christine
new name
Lakin.
for your podcast, and you're gonna get me acting jobs. It's gonna be
Yeah,
great.
I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm texting Christine Lakin right now to
Perfect. Thank you so much. We
who
can
was
go
in
for
the
coffee
Hottie and the Naughty, by the way. Have you ever seen that movie?
if not.
She said I'm like the only guy that ever talks about that movie, but it's her and Paris Hilton,
Oh my god.
and it's Jody. I know you got things to do, but I want to show you this really fast.
Okay.
I'm give me a second. I'm going to search this on my computer, and I'm going to share it with you.
Okay.
I want you to look at Christine Lakin, how she looked in the Hottie and the Naughty, and you tell me if this is good makeup, because I want to bring this back to you. Hold on. Here we go. Can you and your hairy armpits?
Oh,
So hold on.
I was wondering where you were going. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna bring this back to you. Here we go. I'm sharing this for anyone watching right now.
Oh.
That is Christine Lakin. She was quite possibly the ugliest actress I've ever seen. They made her look disgusting, and I bet that Paris Hilton was like, "I'm gonna do this movie with Christine Lakin, who is very beautiful. You
Yeah.
have to make her look worse than me." It had to be in the rules. She's great in
Right.
that movie. She's awesome in that movie, and I just want so if they can make her look that gross,
Yeah.
could your college acting friends not put fake arm hair and leg hair on you? I
You
mean,
know, they could have.
they got merkins, aren't they called merkins? Is that what they're called in Hollywood?
Something else. Yeah.
Yeah, they could do merkin armpits. Is what I'm saying. Like we could do the merkin here. Like Matt's like, yeah, I don't want to see hairy armpits, Jody. I don't want to see that.
True. Well, I don't play those roles now, so I think we're good.
Thank you. So back to you. Enough about me.
Yes.
Back to you. So you would charge me $20 for this
Sure.
signature.
Sure.
Okay. And they only take cash, which I think is the way to avoid taxes.
Yeah.
You can only pay tax. I'm like, who carries cash anymore, Jody? I never have
Nobody.
cash.
Yeah,
Nobody. I would pay pen pal you. I would PayPal you. I just said pen pal. Jody, we're gonna be pen pals now.
I back to the first letter.
Matt's like, who are you talking to? I'm writing Brad. He's in North Carolina. So anyway, that was me. But you got to learn to watch horror movies with Matt. I'm telling you, they're fun.
No, like that movie. Nope. Did not see it.
Oh my gosh, that movie sucked.
Did it? I don't even know because I didn't.
I went to the theater to see that crap, and I was like, man, this is brutal. It was long, and I didn't understand it. And I want a good. My thing is, Jody, when you get your next movie role,
yeah,
tell them it has to be an hour and a half. Like if it's an hour and a half, Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, right?
Yeah.
Looks great. But it's 3 hours and 40 minutes.
It was long. But I gotta say, I didn't get up to pee during it. I managed to not do that, and it didn't feel that long to me. Like I thought I was gonna be like, oh my god. I actually really enjoyed it. But I hear you. Like my husband and I are going to see a movie tonight. It's date night, so it's his turn to plan. So he's taking me to a restaurant.
What did he choose?
What's that?
What's he choosing? I'm curious. What's he choosing?
We're just doing dinner and a movie. We're doing dinner and a movie. But he knows that I want to see One Love, the Bob Marley movie.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, I want to, go see One Love. And I was like, oh, because my day is so long and I've had a long week. And so my first question was, how long is it? I said, how long is the movie?
That's the move. You got to know.
No, and it's only an hour, 49 minutes. I was like, okay, good. It's not over 2. I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Under 2 is a good sale. Over 2, I'm like, I took my wife. She was pregnant with my son at the time. Christmas Day, we went to see Django.
Okay. Interesting choice. Okay.
Interesting choice. And she was like, "This is the longest movie for a pregnant woman." Like, I was uncomfortable the whole time because
Yeah.
this was December. We had him in March 1st, so she was getting to the
Oh, yeah.
point of
Yeah.
Took her to see Silver Linings Playbook. I like
Mm-hmm.
that movie.
I like that movie.
She
Yeah.
fell asleep, pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
pregnant. I give her a little grace, but still, the sleeping during the movie throws me off. Like, I don't. I pay to see this. I'm gonna watch it. That's the move. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm cheap
No,
like that. That's why I'm like, if Jodie's charging me $20 for an autograph, hey man, I'm gonna sell you $20
Perfect.
with my address, and then you can just send me Jodie.
I'll write you a letter with my autograph.
Oh my gosh, pen pal me. Just don't be weird about it, because I don't want my wife think I'm cheating on her. So don't be weird.
I won't be weird. You're the one going to call your podcast Brad's Basement.
Brad's van with no windows. Welcome to Brad's van, Jodie. It's dark. It's Brad's shag carpet. It's getting weirder as we go. Jodie, I thank you for joining me today. I don't know what work advice we got, but
the work advice is you can rebrand whenever you want to, and you get to own who you are in this world. There we go.
I like that. I'm owning the fact that I got to talk to a legend, Jodie Bentley, today, and I'm excited. Seriously, where can we see? Are we going to see you on screen? Like, what's going on? What was the horror movie? Because I cut you off on the horror movie part. What was the name of the horror movie?
Yeah, it premiered at Screamfest here in LA. When did it do that? At the end of last year. And now it's premiering somewhere else now. I forgot. They just sent an email about it. But they're working on distribution for it. So hopefully that will be distributed soon into theaters. So keep up with that.
What's the name of it?
Do Not Watch.
No, what's the name of it? Do not watch. That was such a dad joke right there.
That was. That's good. I fell for it though. I totally fell for it.
You're like, do not watch. I'm like, no, really. What's the name of it? Like,
I responded.
Are you like a lead? Because I'm gonna definitely watch this.
Got it. I have a supporting role in it. Yeah, I have a good supporting role in it. I
like that.
I play a lot of mean women a lot of times.
Wait, you're a villain? You play mean women?
Yeah, I can play mean. Bossy.
Let me see you be really mean to me really fast.
I can't now. I can't.
I want you to be mean. Tell me something really cruel about this podcast.
No,
I just want to hear.
I can't.
You feel dirty, right? You're like, I can't do this to Brad.
I can't be mean to people in life, but if you give me a script, I can say those words. I can do it. I will cut you.
What's something you refuse to do in acting? Like, what's your no? I'm not doing that.
Like any gratuitous sex stuff, I will not do in a movie. Mm-mm.
Let me ask you, as an actress, because I feel like as an actor, I like Neil. Is it Neil McDonough? And he's a bad guy in a lot of movies.
Okay.
And he was in The Shift that just came out. He's a Christian guy. He's been in. Hold on, I'll tell you. He was in. Oh, did you ever watch? Oh my gosh, Justified.
No,
the TV show. It's so great. You got to binge it. It's so good.
So many shows.
He was in Band of Brothers. You ever seen Band of Brothers?
I did not see that either.
Have you ever seen Minority Report?
Yes.
This guy.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He can play.
He plays bad guys. So he has a clip where he was speaking, and he said, "Look, I like to kill people in movies. Like, I'm a bad guy. I'm a villain. I like that. But at the end of the day, when I shoot and kill those people, it's fun. But they get up and they're like, and we're laughing. It's all pretend." He said it's funny. Yeah. But he refuses to kiss a woman on screen. He's like, "I'm not doing it because I have a wife and I don't want my children seeing that." Is that something you think about? Or no, and you and Matt have do y'all talk about boundaries? This is the boundaries in our marriage. Yeah. And I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, we've definitely had the conversation before, and he's like, "Look, I don't go to work and kiss people, where I have done roles and had to kiss people." And I know it's weird, like from like I've done a lot of roles where I've had to make out or this or that, but I think people don't understand is like the director's going, "Move your hand further down his back," like while the cameras are rolling. You're like, "We can't move this and tilt your head." And like you have intimacy coordinators now who like it's choreographed. Do you know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
not so. You know, so I mean I'm okay doing like the kissing and that kind of stuff. Because you're showing real life, right? And you have to have a representation
Mm-hmm.
of real life. But we definitely talk about it. If there's a role that I get and there's, intimacy in it, Matt and I will sit down before I accept it and go, "Hey, this is what happens in this script. Are you okay with this? Can we, because it's hard. I mean, it's got to be hard being married to an actor who like, I'm going to work today and I get to make out with so and so. Like it's weird.
But he gets to read the lines with you, so I'd be like, "Okay, Jodie, we're gonna practice that scene, you and I, right now." That's what that's what I would do if I was mad. I'd be like, "Okay, honey, let's go over that scene, and we'll see." And
Just
so
yeah,
no gratuitous scenes.
yeah. Like that just there's no point for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I don't want to do that. No.
I really don't want to kill people in a movie. I want to be a bad guy, but I don't want my kids like seeing me like mow down a bunch of people in a movie and be like, "Ha ha 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 ha." Like I
Yeah,
wouldn't want to do that.
I've definitely I play a lot of cops and detectives, so I've definitely had
Oh,
to shoot people and carry guns and do that.
oh my
So
gosh, could you be a
yeah,
cop in real life?
no.
I feel like you would be like, we don't give Jodie a bullet, okay? She's got fake bullets.
I would be more. Though you know
I'd call
what,
you.
Brad? I just went to a shooting range for the first time because I wanted to feel because I've held prop guns, I've shot prop guns, but I've never held a real gun. So I
Mhm.
went to this 3-hour beginner handgun class and I shot a 9mm for the first time ever. And it was
Wow.
really fascinating. I'm really glad that I did it. I was terrified. But I was really glad that I did it. So, because it's
It,
powerful. Like it's scary. Like this thing you're holding in your hand could kill somebody. Like that,
would
you
you ever
know?
worry, like on set, that it's? I mean, Alec Baldwin's going through the ringer with what
Oh,
happened
just
to him, and then
so
you got like
awful.
Brandon Lee back when I was. Oh, I love The Crow.
Oh
Brandon
yeah,
Lee was boss.
Crow. I
Man,
loved The Crow.
Crow was my favorite movie that year. Like I was like, man, I wanted to be the Crow for Halloween. Like I was like, I got to be cool like that.
That was
But then he
amazing.
dies, and you're like, okay, I would worry that the gun might actually kill me.
Yeah. Well, I know they've already put more safety protocols in place and all of that. But it's definitely scary. You're trusting a lot of people on set, right? To get to that point. Yeah.
Jody,
Yeah.
I
It's
was in the
just
military. I was in the military, right? I served 4 years in the Navy, and I loaded a shotgun. We were out in the middle of the ocean. I had never shot a shotgun. I loaded it wrong. I got made fun of. It was terrible.
oh no.
That's why I'm doing
Did
the
you hurt
podcast now. I'm paying
anybody?
my penance.
Did you hurt anybody or yourself because you loaded it wrong?
No, I didn't shoot. It wouldn't shoot. They're like, "You loaded it wrong,
Oh,
you moron!" And then they cussed me out and took it out. But I get made fun of. I got made fun of a lot for that. I'm
wow.
confessing that in my confessional to you right now. I'm not a gun guy. I know you're surprised because I'm from North Carolina. Like I'm just
I'm a
not a
little
gun guy.
surprised. I'm a
Yeah,
little surprised.
yeah. I mean, I took down my guns and my rebel flag. I didn't want you to see that, but listeners, I do not have that. I promise. But I will have Jodie's information behind me eventually when she sends it to me. So
Okay, great.
when I Zelle her my $20, uh, Jodie, and then of course no nudity, right? You're not going to do that.
No, I mean I've done it on stage before because I started off in
Wow.
theater
Well, I mean, you
and
did
I
have
did,
hairy armpits. There
I
was a.
did. No, I actually there was a play that I did and I did the one of the New York premieres of this play called The Gray Zone, which was turned into a movie and I'm blanking on his name. Anyway, it's
Wait,
about the Holocaust.
is that with Ryan Gosling?
No, no, it was I can't think of his name. All right, well, whatever. I'm blanking on it.
Oh well.
But I had to. It was a Holocaust play, and it was the scene was they found me at the bottom of the gas chamber and I was still alive, and I got carried out on stage completely naked. But I was like covered in dirt and that. No, not that. Wait, what is it?
That's the Holocaust, the Gray Zone with David
Yeah,
Arquette.
yeah. That's it. Yeah. So I did the play
So they
version of
carried
that.
you out fully naked?
Covered in dirt, bruises, everything, like huge makeup job. But yeah, so I've done that kind of, did that nudity. And I've done some nudity, but not much. But again, if it makes sense in the script, like that made sense in the script, right? It wasn't, and it was awful. It was dark and it was awful, So it depends what it is, script by script basis.
Yeah. Well, Matt can help you decide what.
Yes, he will.
I love that we spent a lot of time talking about Matt. I like that. He's not even here, but we've talked a lot about Matt. I feel like this.
He will love it. He will love it.
I like Matt, and I've never met Matt. Seems like a good dude.
You would love him. He's very nice.
Well, hey, Jodie, I appreciate it. This is officially, I think, the longest podcast I've ever done. You've crossed the record now. You are the champ. For $20, you're the champ.
You said we're gonna top it. We topped it.
We topped everything on this one. I would dish one, you would just top me right back. So we're good. Hey, Jodie, I know you high-key flexed your schedule today, so you're busy today. So I'm gonna release you.
I have to go eat my lunch. I'm starving.
Oh my gosh, it's 3:30 here, so I got to worry about dinner at this point. So anyway, hey, thank you, Jodie. I appreciate the time spent with you. You're always a friend. You can always come back on here if you ever want to promote anything. I would always want to talk to you again.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I had so much fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Jodie. Bye now.
Bye.
Well, I loved that conversation with Jodie, and I know you did too. We actually talked for a long time. The time flew by. I could not even realize that it went as long as it did. But it was great from start to finish. Thank you, Jodie, for coming on Work Advice for Me. Again, you are always welcome to come back. Anytime you want to promote anything, please make it promoted on Work Advice for Me. Thank you, Lee from Cedar Rapids, for your question earlier. And this podcast is brought to you by Hopecast. Check out all the pods on our network. They're all great. Everybody that hosts one is really awesome. And I like saying awesome, so I'm going to say it. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, make sure you follow us, like us, subscribe, leave a review, follow us on the IG, Work Advice for Me. Send an email if you want to ask me a question like Lee did, workadviceforme@gmail.com. Thank you. And also, you can find this podcast on YouTube at the Hopecast Network on YouTube. You'll see all the shows and all the videos. With that being said, I'm about to say without further ado, but I already said that once this episode. I'm not going to say it again. With that being said, I am going to go relax now and maybe turn on something with Jodie Bentley in it just so I can say I know her and I talk to her. Thank you, Hopecast, for making this possible, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. My name is Brad. This is Work Advice for Me. See ya.